श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम् अपारकरुणासिन्धुं ज्ञानदं शान्तरूपिणं श्रीचन्द्रशेखरगुरुं प्रणमामि मुदान्वहम्।
श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। With the abundant blessings of our Acharya Swamiji, we have crossed more than 2 weeks of Vande GurorMandalam series program of Shankara Stotras. We are now in Shivananda Lahari, sloka number 59.
Namaskaram. Hamsaf padmavanam samichhati yatha neelambudam chatakaha kokah kokanadapriyam pratidinam chandram chakorastatha cheto vanchati mamakam pashupate chinmargamrigyam vibho gaurinath भवत्पदाब्जयुगलं कैवल्यसौख्यप्रदम्।
Hamsaf padmavanam samichhati yatha. The swan would always like to remain in a lotus pond. Padmavanam, lotus forest, also lotus pond. So, swan would like to be in a lotus pond. It likes it very much. Samichhati, very much likes. Neelambudam chatakaha. We have seen before, chataka pakshi would very much love to receive rainwater from dark clouds. So, because that is the only food for it. So, as soon as the dark cloud is seen, it comes and sits with open mouth looking at the sky. So, that is what he says. Dark cloud is very much desired by Chataka bird. Kokaha kokanada priyam. Koka is Chakravaka bird. Kokanada priyam is Surya. Kokanada is red lotus. Kokanada means red lotus. Red lotus likes Surya because lotuses bloom as soon as sun rises. So, Surya is Kokanada Priya, loved by red lotuses. Kokaha Kokanada Priyam. Chakravaka bird also loves Surya because we have seen before Chakravaka birds mate during daytime and do not during night time. So they love Surya. Pratidinam Chandram Chakorastatha. Every day Chakora Pakshi comes out in the night and looks to Chandra, whether Chandra Darshan is possible. They have to only have Chandra Darshan, nothing more, because as soon as the Chakora Pakshi has Chandra Darshan, from Chandra, the rays of Amrita reach the Pakshi and the Pakshi drinks the rays of nectar. That capacity Chakora Pakshi has. And that is the only food for Chakora Pakshi. Just as Chataka Pakshi, the only food is rainwater. Similarly, for Chakora Pakshi, the only food is Amrita Kirana from Chandra. Cheto vanchati mamakam pasupate chinmargam rigyam vibho. Mamakam chetaha vanchati. My mind also desires, similarly, similar to the desires expressed in the previous lines, my mind also desires something. Oh Pashupate, oh Vibho, oh omnipresent Parameshwara. What is that? Chinmargam rigyam. That which is sought after in the path of jnana. Chinmargam rigyam. Rigyam means something which you search. Something which is searched through the path of jnana. That is what my mind desires. What is that? bhavat padabja yugalam. The twin lotus feet of yours, O Gaurinatha, Kaivalya Saukhya Pradam. Why it says that? Because once my mind attains your twin lotus feet, I am assured of something. What is that? Kaivalya Saukhyam, the bliss of moksha. Kaivalya is moksha. The bliss of moksha, it is going to give me Padabja Yugalam, the twin lotus feet. So, my mind, the intense desire is what is required for attaining the lotus feet of Bhagavan. Intense desire that we have seen before. Bhakti, not ordinary bhakti, very intense desire is desired, required. Now, that intense desire is expressed by giving these examples. And if you are particularly on the Jnana Marga, don't assume that Jnana Marga will take you to Parameshwara directly. Unless Jnana Marga also, you include bhakti in your sadhana. That is why he put Kinmarga Mrigyam. Even though the jnanis, the aspirants in the Jnana Marga desire your lotus feet, they also will get your lotus feet only if they are motivated by intense desire. So intense desire is the key, and even if you are in the Jnana Marga, that is required. No doubt, it is good to be on the Jnana Marga, there is no doubt about it. You are much better off than others. But point is that you have to have the bhakti. Just as swan very much desires to be in a lotus pond, Chataka Pakshi very much desires dark cloud, Chakravaka Pakshi very much desires Surya, the beloved of red lotuses, Chakora Pakshi very much desires Chandra every day. Similarly, my mind desires your twin lotus feet, O Gaurinatha. That twin lotus feet is also sought after by those who are on the path of jnana, and the twin lotus feet give me an assurance of eternal bliss, the bliss of moksha. Hamsa Padmavanam Samichyati Yatha Neelambudam Chatakaha Kokah Kokanada Priyam Pratidinam Chandram Chakorastatha Keto Vanchati Mamakam Pasupate Chinmargamrigyam Vibho Gaurinath Bhavat Padabjajugalam Kaivalya Saukhya Pradam.
रोधस्थोय हृतश्रमेण पथिकः छायां तरोर्वृष्टितः भीतस्वस्थगृहं गृहस्थमतिथिः दीनः प्रभुं धार्मिकं दीपं सन्तमसाकुलश्च शिखिनं शीतावृतस्त्वं तथा चेतः सर्वभयापहं व्रजसुखं शम्भोः पदाम्भोरुहम्.
He is addressing the mind once again, and he says, "O mind, go and reach the lotus feet of Shambhu and attain eternal bliss, which will rid you of all fears. Chetaha sarva bhayapaham vraja sukham Shambho padambhoruham. Shambhoho padambhoruham." The lotus feet of Shambhu are capable of removing all your fears and also granting you bliss. So please go and search for the lotus feet and attain. Vraja, go and attain. And for this he is giving examples. Rodhas toya hritaha. Toya hritaha, one who is caught in a flood. One who is caught in a flood, he wants to reach the shore. Rodha is shore. So, one who is caught in a flood, what will he desire except to reach the safety of the shore? So, that kind of desire you have to have. Intense desire to protect your life is there in him. Similarly, intense desire to attain Shiva's feet should be there in you. Everything is coming to the same point, intense desire. Shramena Vasikaha Chayam Taroho. Vasikaha, one wayfarer, one who is walking on the road in terrible heat. Shramena, he is so tired. What will he need? Taroho Chayam, the shade of a tree. He is very much after finding a tree which will give him a shade. That is what he is expecting. Vrishtitaha bhitaha swasthagraham. One who is afraid of heavy rain. Afraid means he is caught in heavy rain. He came out without an umbrella when he was caught in heavy rain. Now what will he desire? He will desire swasthagraham, his own house, where he will be safe and secure. Grihastham atithihi. Atithihi grihastham. Atithi is unannounced guest. Nowadays, we announce our arrival when we go to somebody's house. We phone them up saying we are coming at so and so time, and they are prepared to receive us. This is not Atithi Satkara. Atithi means someone who comes unannounced, totally unexpected. He is Atithi. And this kind of guest, he is looking for the hospitality of a grihastha, of a householder. Atithihi grihastham. That is why our Shastras have prescribed that at noon time you should perform Vaishwadeva Homa. By performing Vaishwadeva Homa, you will give bali, which will go to various insects, birds and insects. After giving that bali, you go out on the street in the hot sun and look both sides of the street for any atithi. This is what Shastra has told us to do. People were doing in the earlier centuries. It's only after the advent of British Raj that we lost our moorings, and we have all these things look very strange to us. So the householder used to look at both ends of the street and then see whether someone is coming. If he sees someone coming, he will welcome him, say, please have food with me in my house. So then the Atithi will enter the house and have food with him. And after feeding him only, the Grihastha will have his food. This is the rule. This is not something specially observed by a few people on a few days, nothing like that. Every day, everyone used to observe this. This is the basic fundamental rule of Grihasthashrama. A Grihastha is supposed to do this. You cannot say, I have not cooked food, I cooked only for 2 people. That is the present day situation. In olden days, people used to cook plenty so that Atithis can be looked after. So he says, Grihastham Atithihi Dina Prabham Dharmikam. Dinaha is one who is poor. One who is poor will look to go to someone who is moneyed, who is rich, Prabhu, who has Aishwarya. And what kind of Prabhu he is? Dharmikam. He is a Prabhu who follows the path of Dharma. Because if he follows the path of Adharma, and the money which this man receives from him will also be tainted. Tainted money will only land you in greater sin, greater poverty. Already he is poor. So he will look for a Dharmika Prabhu, a rich man who follows the path of Dharma. Deepam Santamasa Kulascha. Tamasa Kulascha means one who is suffering from darkness, one who is miserable with darkness. Santamasa Kulascha is dense darkness. Very dense darkness if someone is having. That is, someone comes from outside to his own house in dead of night, and then he finds there are no lights, electricity is off. Then he is surrounded by dense darkness. Then what will he look for? He will look for a source of light, maybe a small lamp, whatever, battery light, whatever. Deepam Santamasa. One who is afflicted with terrible darkness will look intensely for a source of light. Shikhinam Sita Vrataha. One who is suffering from cold. These days temperatures change very fast, and because of climate change, changes occur very fast. So this man did not expect that he would suffer from cold. He did not protect himself with warm clothing. So he is suffering from cold. What will he look for? He will look for Shikhi. Shikhi means Agni. We say Agni has got Shikha. Agni Shikha. Shikha means flame. Without flame, Agni is of no use. If it is a low down Agni, what is the use? It will not give any heat. Only with flame you get heat. That is why that which has got Shikha is called Shikhi, Agni. So this man who is suffering from intense cold is looking for Agni, because that is the only way people used to rid themselves of cold in earlier times, even now in many homes. Shikhinam Hitavrutaha Tvam Tatha Chetas Sarva Bhayapaham. Similarly, O mind, you go and read the feet, the lotus feet of Shambhu, which will relieve you of all fears and bless you with happiness and bliss. Just as one who is caught in flood looks for a safe shore, one who is caught on the way, walking on the way, but caught in heavy heat, midday sun, he is very tired and he looks for shade of a tree. Just as one who is caught in heavy rain, he is afraid of drenching himself further, he is looking for going to his own home for safety. Just as the unannounced guest Atithi looks for the hospitality of a householder, just as a poor man looks to a rich man, also following the path of Dharma, just as one who is caught in dense darkness looks for any source of lamp, however tiny it may be, just as one who is suffering from severe cold looks to Agni for relieving himself of his cold, for getting some heat. Similarly, O mind, you go and attain the lotus feet of Shambhu, and those lotus feet are known to rid you of all fears and give you what you need most, sukham, happiness and bliss. रोधस्तोयहृतश्रमेण पथिकः छायां तरोर्वृष्टितः भीतस्वस्थगृहं गृहस्थमतिथिः दीनप्रभं धार्मिकं दीपं सन्तमसा कुलश्च शिखिनं शीतावृतस्त्वं तथा चेतः सर्वभयापहं व्रजसुखं शम्भोः पदाम्भोरुहम्.
अंकोलं निज बीज सन्ततिरयस्कान्तोपलं सूचिका साध्वी नैज विभुं लताक्षितिरुहं सिन्धुः सरिद्वल्लभम् प्राप्नोतीह यथा तथा पशुपतेः पादारविन्दद्वयम् चेतो वृत्तिरुपेत्य तिष्ठति सदा सा भक्तिरित्युच्यते.
This is one of the most celebrated shlokas of Shivananda Lahari. We are extremely fortunate to be having a series of such celebrated shlokas in our lecture today. We are extremely fortunate. This is perhaps the most celebrated shloka which has been quoted by all our three Periyavas, Mahaperiyava, Puduperiyava and present Periyava. And they have mentioned this in many Anugraha Bhashanams. And this is the definition of bhakti. This shloka tells you what is bhakti. So far we have been talking about bhakti only, no doubt. But the basic foundational definition, the basic requirement of bhakti is spelled out very, very clearly here. Ankolam nijabija santatihi. There is a tree called Ankola tree which spreads out its seeds. Those seeds crack out and come out in the open and spread themselves over a good distance in a circular form around the tree over a good distance. But after the seeds are cracked out like that, they travel on their own. The seeds travel on their own without anybody's help, without any external force. They travel on their own to the tree. How can a seed, does it have legs to walk? How does it travel? It travels. That is the mystery. That is the mystery of the Ankola tree. Only the Ankola tree has got this kind of peculiar characteristic. Nijabeja Santatihi, the group of seeds which it throws out, the tree throws out over a good diameter, all those seeds come back to the tree on their own. Ayaskanto palam suchika. Ayaskanta is magnet. That is itself made of steel. Magnet is also steel only, but it has magnetic property. That's why he says Ayaskanta. Ayas means iron. It is iron, but it has got a kanta power, attracting power. Opalam means stone. Ayaskanta opalam suchika. Suchika means needle. You take a needle close to a magnet, you don't have to take very close, even at some distance, it attracts the needle. Needle goes and sticks to the magnet on its own, just as the seed was going on its own towards the tree and goes and sticks to the tree. Similarly, this needle also sticks. Now, these are examples of attraction. These are examples of great love which this object has for the other object. Now, similarly, Sadhvi Naija Vibhum. Sadhvi is chaste woman, Pativrata Sri. The love she has for her husband, Naija Vibhum, for her own beloved, who is her protector. Vibhu is a protector, powerful protector is Vibhu, who is her husband. Now, this Pativrata Sri is always thinking of him. She has no other thought. That is the hallmark of a Pativrata Sri. Even when he has gone out of station for a few days, even then she thinks of him only and does all her work with only one thought, that is her husband's. That is the hallmark of a sadhvi. In our Shastras, this kind of relationship between a Pativrata Sri and husband has been praised very much. That is why, and it is the duty of the husband to protect the household, protect the wife, protect the children. That is his duty. He cannot escape the duty. That is the basic duty. So, not only protect means give them food, give them clothing, not only that is of course basic. Apart from that, see that they walk the path of dharma. That responsibility is also the husband's. So, Shastra says, if a woman performs some act of punya, that entire punya goes to her account. If she does some papa, half the papa account goes to her husband. Look at that. But if a husband does some punya, half the punya straight away goes to the wife's account, because you cannot do any punya without the wife's help. That is what Shastra has assumed. So you have taken her help, so give her half the punya. Whereas this woman has, by her own efforts, has committed an act of punya, so she deserves all the benefit. You have only blessed her, you have only given her help, but you can't, you are not entitled for a share of it. But the papa of a husband, no share goes to woman. Papa of a woman, half share goes to husband. Papa of a husband, no share goes to the woman, because he is the master. If the master himself is on a wrong path, who can guide him? Who can help him? That is the significance about Shastra. So that is why the relationship between a Pativrata Sri and her husband is something very, very extraordinary. Lata Kshitiruham, the creeper always looks for a support. We saw the other day, we provide a post as a support. Similarly, normally creeper goes for a tree. It goes around a tree. So Kshitiruham is a tree. The creeper looks for a tree. Sindhu Saridvallabham, Sindhu river, it goes and seeks to merge with ocean. Saridvallabham is ocean. Sarit is river. The husband, the beloved of all the rivers is Samudra Raja. All the rivers are the wives of Samudra Raja. That is the Shastra. So he is Sarid Vallabha. He is the beloved of all rivers. So ocean is desired by the river. The river can never be contained before it goes to the ocean. You can stop it for a while. You can stop it over a short distance in some place. But again, it will find its way and go to the ocean. Unless it merges with the ocean, it is restless. That kind of restlessness you should have for merging with Shiva. In fact, every example, the second example is higher, the succeeding example is slightly at a higher scale than the previous example. That is how Adi Shankara has built these examples. So, this merger of the river with the ocean, once the river water goes into the ocean, can you distinguish it? You cannot distinguish. You cannot say this is Kaveri water, this is Ganga water, this is Godavari water. There's no means of identifying. Once it merges, that is the kind of merger which a bhakta seeks with Shiva. That is the intense desire to lose your identity and become one with Shiva. That is what is expected. In all other cases, your identity is still protected. The creeper is protecting its identity. The Pativrata Sri is protecting her identity, though in a very limited way. And the needle, the seeds, etc., they have their identities. But here, you have lost your identity. So this is the highest example. Prapnoti yatha tatha pashupatehe padarabindadvayam. Just as in these examples, the last example, the river attains the ocean. Similarly, Pashupatehe padarabindadvayam, the twin lotus feet of Pashupati, cheto vrittihi upetya tishtati. When the mind goes to the lotus feet and sits there. Sits means what? Without any disturbance. Tishtati. It goes and sits there. So it goes, takes a seat comfortably. Keto vrittihi. Ketaha upetya, he could have said. Mind goes. But he says keto vrittihi. He is adding a word vritti. Vritti means the mode of the mind. Unfortunately, mind is not a one-sided track. It doesn't think on only one path. It thinks on multiple paths at the same time or in a very short time. That is the characteristic of the mind. Those modes are called vrittis. In fact, in Patanjali Yoga Sutra, the very first sutra is controlling these vrittis. Make them one-pointed. Make them one-pointed towards Parameshwara. That Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodhaha. This is the first sutra. Chitta Vritti, that's what he is saying here. Cheto Vritti, Upet. This Vritti should be controlled and pointed in one direction towards one goal. And then go and sit there, having attained that goal. Do not get distracted again. Go and sit there comfortably. When your mind does it, Sada, always. You have gone and sat there, after 5 minutes you get restless, you think of something mundane, you want to go and meet someone for getting some money, then your bhakti is faulty. So that is not tishtati. Your mind is not seated comfortably at the lotus feet of Shiva. Sada, always. Sa bhakti yuchyate. That is bhakti. That is the definition of bhakti. So, this kind of intense devotion, intense dedication, one-pointed dedication is what is bhakti. Anko, just as we have given these examples many times, so we go and read it now. Ankolam nijabirya santatirayat kantopalam suchika sadhvi naija vibham lata kshitiruham sindhusaredvallabham prapnoti yatha tatha pashupatehe पादारविन्दद्वयम् चेतो वृत्तिरुपेत्य तिष्ठति सदा सा भक्तिरित्युच्यते.
आनन्दाश्रुभिरातनोति पुलकम् नैर्मल्यतश्छादनम् वाचा शङ्खमुखे स्थितैश्च जठरापूर्तिम् चरित्रामृतैः रुद्राक्षैर्भसितेन देववपुषो रक्षाम् भवद्भावना पर्यङ्के विनिवेश्य भक्ति जननी भक्तार्भकं रक्षति.
Now, Adi Shankara is telling us how bhakti treats a bhakta. How bhakti treats a bhakta. Very beautiful way of picturing. Bhakti is picturized as a mother and this bhakta is treated as a baby. Now, how this mother is treating the baby. Anand Ashrubhihi Atanoti. She makes the child weep tears of bliss. Tears of bliss flow from his eyes on their own, isn't it? That's what Bhakta's definition, isn't it? A Bhakta, in his intense emotion, he sheds tears of bliss on his own without even any external requirement, any external force. He does that. So, Ananda Ashrubhihi Atanoti, and along with this tears of bliss, Atanoti Pulakam, he also gets Pulakankita, horripilation, hair standing on the head. So much of emotion is there in him. He sheds tears of joy. His hair stands on end. Nairmalyataschadanam. Then the mother covers the baby with some cloth, some dress. What is chadanam means? Covering, a cloth. What is the cloth of cover? Nairmalyataha. Nirmala, the quality of Nirmala, quality of being free from all faults, all blemishes, purity. Nirmalya is purity. So purity is the dress which the mother gives the baby. The baby is already wet with the tears of bliss. The baby is already having experience of horripilation. All this is because of seeing the mother. On seeing the mother, the child is so much happy. That's what you should understand. The devotee is so much happy when he goes through bhakti, when he goes through the emotions of bhakti, so that he is giving it this way, child and mother. Vacha shankha mukhe sthitaishta jatara purtim charitra mritaihi. Vacha shankha mukhe sthitaishta. Then the child starts speaking. And the speech of the child is such that it comes through a shankha, conch, because the shankhanada is supposed to be very, very effective in drawing the attention of Bhagavan and also a sign of our bhakti. Shankhanada is a sign of our bhakti. That is why even Shankabhisheka, yesterday was the last Somavara of Kartik, and we had, some temples had 108,008 Shankhabhishekam. Water poured from Shankha is supposed to be extremely auspicious. Similarly, Shankhanada, the sound which you make from Shankha, is very auspicious. So this child, whatever it blabbers, maybe the devotee blabbers something in a state of emotion of bhakti, that it is not blabbering, it is Shankhanada. Vacha shankha mukhe sthitaishta jathara purtim charitra mritaihi. Jathara purtim. Now the baby is also hungry, isn't it? So you have to give the baby food. Jathara is belly. The belly is to be filled with some food. Jathara apurtim. What is the food for this baby? The devotee baby. Charitra amritaihi. Parameshwara's charitra is the amrita which the baby is being fed. The baby is being fed not ordinary food, it is being fed amrita. And what is that amrita? Charitra, the stories of Parameshwara. Rudrakshayir bhasitena deva vapusho raksham. Vapushaha raksham. The protection of the body. Now, the baby is so beautiful that mother is worried something may happen to the baby. So, she protects the baby with a black dot in the forehead and this and that. We know all that. So, similarly, this mother, Bhakti mother, what does she do? She protects this baby, the Bhakta baby, by making him wear Rudraksha and Vibhuti. Rudrakshahi bhasitena. Bhasita means Vibhuti. Because it shines, it is called Bhasita. That is the tejas associated with Vibhuti. Rudrakshair bhasitena deva. Oh Parameshwara, she does like this. She gives this kind of protection. Why she is calling Parameshwara in between? Because these are close links associated with Parameshwara. Rudraksha and Vibhuti are close signs of Parameshwara's form. So he is putting Deva in between. Bhavad Bhavana Paryanke Viniveshya. She puts the baby in a cradle. Paryanka is a cradle. What is the cradle? Bhavad Bhavana. Emotion connected with you. You means Shiva. The baby is filled with emotion connected with Shiva. He is filled with Shiva emotion, filled with nothing but Shiva. All his thoughts are directed towards Shiva. Bhavad Bhavana Paryanke Viniveshya. There he makes the baby lie down. She makes the baby lie down. Bhakti Janani, the mother called Bhakti. Bhaktar Bhagam Rakshati. This is how she protects the baby called Bhakta. Bhakta Arbhagam. Arbhagam means little child, not a boy. Little child is called Arbhagam. Now she protects this devotee baby this way. She, on seeing her, the child automatically develops tears of bliss and experiences horripilation in the body. She provides him the dress of purity, attire of purity. She sees that this baby speaks some words which look like Shankhanada, so beautiful, so auspicious. Naturally, when all the emotion is directed towards Shiva, whatever the baby speaks will all be auspicious only. And she fills the baby's belly with amrita of stories of Shiva, and she makes the child wear Rudraksha and Vibhuti, and this gives the body protection. So this shows us that Rudraksha and Vibhuti give us bodily protection. Vapusho Raksham. And of course it does. It puts you on the religious path, it puts you on the spiritual path, not just bodily protection. Bodily protection is assured. Further, your tejas, your ojas, everything increases with Rudraksha and Bhajta. And she puts this baby in a cradle of bhakti towards Shiva. Emotion, all emotion directed towards Shiva. This is how the mother called Bhakti protects the baby called Bhakta. Anand Ashrubhi. This here, one thing I wanted to say, the aspect called Shraddha. See, Bhakti should not be just following some trodden path. Well, he has done this puja, I will also do this puja. Whether I have any emotion, whether I like it or not, whether that is emotionally suited for me, I don't know. I just do something in imitation of somebody. That is not bhakti. Bhakti should be done with full shraddha, full attention, full conviction, and full faith, and full following of all shastras. Then only the bhakti will become complete. So Arjuna asked a question of Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. This is called Shraddhatraya Vibhaga Yoga. Shraddha is very important in whatever you do. So he is asking a question. He says, somebody does something in violation of Shastras. His action is violation of Shastra Vidhim Utsrijya. In violation of Shastras, but full of Shraddha. He is not deviating from Shraddha. What happens to that action? This was the question. For this, a whole chapter of advice is given by Krishna, because Shraddha itself he is dividing into three categories: Sattvika Shraddha, Rajasic Shraddha, and Tamasic Shraddha. And he says, he is not criticizing any Shraddha, mind you. Even the worst form of Shraddha is categorized as Tamasic Shraddha. Now he gives you definition of what is all this. Now, for example, Sattvika Shraddha in the case of dana, in the case of yajna, in the case of tapas. All this is defined. In the case of dana, for example, if you give dana to a worthy person at a worthy time, in a worthy place, all the three, place, time and person, all the three should be worthy. Then it is satvika dana. Otherwise, no. If you give the dana for letting people know that you are giving dana, form, then it is rajasa dana. If you give the dana for the sake of getting something back from that man to whom you are giving dana, then it is worst form of dana. I am giving him this dana, he will also give me something tomorrow. With this idea, if you give, then that is tamasa dana. So like this, each category he is giving in detail. The most important point is at the end of the chapter, he has given this last advice. He is summarizing everything beautifully. He says, Ashraddhaya hutam dattam tapastaptam kritam chayat. Whatever homa you have done without Shraddha, whatever dana you have done without Shraddha, whatever tapas you have done without Shraddha. See, whole of Bhagavad Gita, he is using this phrase frequently. Yajna dana tapakriyaha, yajna dana and tapas. So he is saying that in this form. So if you do these three without Shraddha, then there may be other activities not falling in these three categories. Tam kritam chayat, whatever you have done without Shraddha, that is asat, asadityikyate partha, that is called asat. That is as good as not done. You have spent so much money, so much of effort you have put in, you have spent so much of your time, you have gone to Kashi, you have found a good person, you have given dana and all that, you have done without Shraddha. Because you have expected something in return from him, or maybe something worse than that. So then the fruit is gone. So asadityuchyate partha, that is as good as not done. Nacha tat pretya no yihe. Don't think that it will become fruitless only temporarily. Sometime later it will give some fruit. No. It will not give any fruit in this world nor in the world afterwards, because all our religious activities carry a fruit which we are going to enjoy later on also, not only here. In fact, mostly we are going to enjoy later on also. The fruit we are enjoying here today is the fruit of karma which is to our account from our previous births, mostly. So only very few karmas bear immediate fruit. If it is very intense punya or very intense papa, then only it bears immediate fruit. Otherwise, so that is why he is saying, this fruit, you may think, okay, I have done this, I will get a fruit next in my next janma. No, you will not get, because you have done it without Shraddha. So neither here nor hereafter. So Shraddha is important. Anand ashrubhiratanoti pulakam nairmalyataschadanam. No. Yes, correct. Nairmalyataschadanam vacha shankhamukhe sthitaishya jatara purtim charitramritaihi रुद्राक्षैर् भसितेन देव वपुषो रक्षां भवद् भावना पर्यङ्के विनिवेश्य भक्ति जननी भक्तार्भकं रक्षति.
मार्गावर्तित पादुका पशुपतेः अङ्गस्य कूर्चायते गण्डूषाम्बुनिषेचनम् पुररिपोर्दिव्याभिषेकायते किञ्चित् भक्षितमांसशेषकबळम् नव्योपहारायते भक्तिः किं न करोत्यहो वनचरो भक्तावतंसायते.
This is the story of, very famous story of Kannappa Nayanar, one of the 63 Nayanmars of Shaiva Bhakti cult of Tamil Nadu. Very famous story of Kannappa Nayana, which is believed to have happened in Sri Shailam, where this stotra has been composed. So he took the local Kshetra Mahima, local story which is prevalent there, that is related to Kannappa Nayanar. What Kannappa Nayanar did was that he was a hunter, completely illiterate, knowing nothing except hunting and protecting his family. So one day in his peregrinations in the woods, he found a Shivalinga. He somehow became a great devotee of that Shivalinga. And then he found that somebody has come and done some puja to that Shivalinga with some flowers and some naivedya. He was not happy with the flowers and the naivedya and the way puja has been done. He simply removed all that, threw it away. He brought his own Abhisheka water, he brought his own flower, he brought his own naivedya. Now, how he brought is the most interesting thing. He brought a naivedya of an animal which has been killed by him and which has been burnt in the fire and cooked in the fire, and which he has eaten and tasted whether the food is good, whether the food is tasty. After tasting, he is holding it in his hand for offering to Shiva. Then on the other hand, he is holding some flowers. Now, how to bring the Abhisheka water? So he held the water in his mouth. He held the water. He had no other vessel, so held the water in his mouth. He came here. He spat the water on Shivalinga, that is Abhisheka. Then he decorated the Shivalinga with the flowers which he had brought, and he offered that animal food, animal flesh as naivedya. This he was doing every day. Next morning, when the pujari, the archaka, comes, he was terribly shocked, naturally. All the puja which he had done has been disturbed, and this kind of puja has been done by someone. He was extremely angry. He didn't know what to do. He removed all that. He cleaned the whole place with water, and then he did the puja once again. Now this man comes, Raja, you go and hide. Don't go home after your puja. Hide yourself and watch what is happening. Is what he was told. He did exactly like that. Then this man came, as usual. He brought the water in his mouth, the flowers in one hand, and the cooked animal food in the other hand. He did the puja as usual. Then, at the end of the puja, he found that Shiva's right eye, there was blood coming. It was bleeding. He was extremely worried. How did this happen? Then he decided he will do eye grafting. His own eye he will put on the Shivalinga. So he removed his own right eye, put it on the Shivalinga in the place of the bleeding eye. The bleeding stopped immediately. Then unfortunately the other eye, the left eye, started bleeding. Now this put him completely off. He didn't know what to do. He decided, anyway, I have one more eye left and I will give this as offering to Shiva. He developed so much of Shiva Bhakti, you see. Now, once you remove the other eye, you will not know how to fix it. You will become blind. Where will you put the eye? So he decided he was wearing chappals, shoes. With the shoe he kept on Shivalinga. The left leg with shoe, he kept on Shivalinga in the place of the eye which was not bleeding, so that he will know by the side of it he should fix the eye. This is for fixing the location. Then he was about to pluck his left eye. Then Shiva appeared and stopped. He said, don't do it. He opened his eyes and then he found Shiva, Pratyaksha, Darshan. Then Shiva was so pleased with him, he granted him moksha. Now all this was watched by that pujari. So this story is told here in a very beautiful way, in a very poetic way. मार्गावर्तित पादुका पशुपते अंगस्य कूर्चायते. Whenever our Shastris do Abhisheka to Shivalinga, particularly Vishesha Abhisheka, special Abhisheka, where they have chanted mantras and sanctified the water in a kalasha, isn't it? That sanctified water in a kalasha, we have seen before in Punyaha Vachanam. Similarly, here also. This is not Punyaha Vachanam, this is Abhisheka for Shiva, but the water is prepared the same way. The process is similar. So here also there is a pot, and there is a kumbha, and there is a coconut, there is a mango leaf, everything is there. On the top of it, there is a kurcha, the darbha kurcha, with three legs sort of thing. So that kurcha is placed on the Shivalinga before Abhishekam is done. It's the common practice which you must have seen in all temples. Whenever Abhisheka with this kind of Kalasha Abhisheka is done. So he says, this Paduka which he put on the Shivalinga for fixing the location of the eye becomes the Kurcha for you. He is putting his worn out chappal, Marga Vartita Paduka, chappal which has traveled all over the woods, in all paths in the woods. That kind of chappal is putting it on you. And how do you accept it? You are accepting it as if it is a kurcha, sanctified kurcha from the Kalasha. Pashupate Angasya Kurchayate, for his limbs, it becomes a kurcha. Gandusha Ambu Nishechanam. Gandusha Ambu, the water in his mouth. Gandusha is the one which he is keeping in his mouth. That water becomes Abhisheka water for you. Nishechanam is Abhisheka, pouring out. Abhisheka is pouring out. Just as the Kalasha water is poured on the Shivalinga, he is pouring his water from his mouth. But you are considering it as Abhisheka. He is pouring from his mouth, but you are considering it as Abhisheka. Puraripo Divya Abhisheka Ayate. For Puraripo Shiva, it is divine Abhisheka, not just ordinary Abhisheka. It is Abhisheka performed by Devendra, Mahavishnu and other devas. Like that. Kinchid Bhakshita Mamsa Shesha Kabalam Navyopaharayate. This man has brought mamsa, animal food. That too not fresh. He has eaten part of it. Kinchid Bhakshita, partly eaten. Mamsa, that animal flesh. Shesha, balance after he has eaten. How can you, do you ever offer as Naivedya something which you have tasted before? Never. It is a sacrilege. So such a sacrilege he has done. Mamsa Shesha Kabalam, that ball of food which he is giving, that becomes Navya Upahara Ayate. Array, nobody has given this type of Naivedya. Navya Upahara. A new type of offering. See, when somebody gives you a gift which nobody has given you before, you are very pleased. Array, this type of gift nobody has given me. This man is very imaginative. He has given a beautiful new gift. You are extremely happy. That is what Shiva is happy now. Because this type of Naivedya nobody has done to him before. So this is a new type of Navya, means new. New type of Upahara, new type of Naivedya. Upahara actually means gift, offering. So that is how he takes it. Bhakti kim na karoti. Now naturally, Adi Shankara is struck with wonder. He says, what will Bhakti not do? Because he was overcome by Bhakti, he did whatever he liked in complete violation of Shastras. Now this is not a license for us to deviate from Shastras. No, we should follow Shastras strictly. This is for people like him, for jnanis, who are overcome by emotion of Bhakti to such an extent. They have reached the pinnacle of Bhakti. They don't know what they are doing. Now, we are definitely not in that condition. So, Bhakti kim na karoti. What will Bhakti not achieve? True Bhakti achieves. Aho, what a wonder. Vanacharo bhakta avatamsayate. Bhakta avatamsa. The best among bhaktas. Vanacharaha, the one who is moving about in the forest, a hunter, illiterate. He has not studied any Vedas, Shastras, he has not taken any teaching from any guru. Such a person has become the best among bhaktas. He is overshooting all the bhaktas in the line of learned people. Those who have done enormous number of yajnas, they are all standing in queue, but he goes and stands first in that line. He is the chief among bhaktas. Avatamsa is, we have seen before, the crown. The crown or the flower which you put on the crown, that is the avatamsa. So he becomes the crest jewel among all bhaktas. So the paduka of his, which has traveled all over the paths in the woods, becomes kurcha, the auspicious kurcha for the limbs of Pashupati. The water which he is spitting out from his mouth becomes divine Abhisheka for Shiva. He is bringing a Naivedya, which is a remnant of animal food after he has eaten it, and that becomes a new type of offering for Shiva. He enjoys it so much. Oh, what a wonder! What does Bhakti not do? This wild man has become the chief among bhaktas. Margavartita paduka pashupatehe angasya kurchayate gandushambunashechanam puraripoho divyabhishekayate kinchid bhakshita mamsashesha kabalam navyopaharayate bhakti kim na karotyaho vanacharo bhaktavatamsayate. So Shraddha is important. What we saw from the Gita, that applies even more to this sloka. It is Shraddha which is important. Without Shraddha, Bhakti is of no use. So Kannappa Nayanar is the very epitome of Shraddha. So he is given as an example. Next.
वक्षस्ताडनमन्तकस्य कठिनापस्मारसम्मर्दनम् भूभृत्पर्यटनम् न मत्सुरशिरः कोटीरसङ्घर्षणम् कर्मेदम् मृदुलस्य तावकपदद्वन्द्वस्य किं वोचितम् मच्चेतो मणिपादुका विहरणम् शम्भो सदाङ्गीकुरु.
He is pleading with Shiva, you are hurting your feet by walking here and there. Your feet are so soft. So he says, what did you do with your feet? Vakshasthadanam antakasya. You went and struck Yama on his chest with your feet. Yama's figure is so hard. His form is so hard. You went and used your soft feet for striking him on his chest. What will happen to your feet? Vakshas, Tadanam, Antakasya. Antaka is Yama, Tadanam is hitting. Vaksha on the chest. Kathina, Pasmara, Sammardhanam. Apasmara is the Asura which who was thrown at Bhikshatana in the Darukavana Leela by the Rishi. We have seen snakes and tiger and this and that, deer and all that. So like this Apasmara, he is a dwarf Asura and he was supposed to kill that Bhikshatana. So Shiva took him as Asura and put him under his feet and crushed him under his feet. That is what you find in Nataraja image. In Nataraja image, you find an Asura lying down at his feet, crushed by him. That is called Apasmara. Apasmara is actually epilepsy. The disease of epilepsy is called Apasmara because it makes you completely forget yourself. That's why it's called Apasmara. All smaranam is gone. You don't know who you are and you behave in a very strange manner. That is what happens when you are in fits of epilepsy. So this epilepsy here for Apasmara Asura it stands for Ajnana. It stands for all of us. Because we are also in a state of epilepsy because we don't know who we are and we are thinking that we are the body and we are all the time protecting the body without caring for the Atma. So this is also a state of epilepsy. So this Ajnana, he crushes under his feet and he gives you Jnana. That is what Nataraja does. So here he says, Kathina apasmara sammardhanam. All this is all right. But when you used your soft foot for crushing this apasmara, he is Asura with hard body, what will happen to your Bhubrit Paryatanam? Okay, when you are moving about here and there, where do you move about? You are moving on mountains. Shiva is fond of mountains. Bhubrit is mountain. So you are fond of moving around mountains, that makes your feet hurt. Namas Surashiraha Koti Ira Sangharshanam. Namas Surashiraha, those devas who are worshipping, they are wearing crowns on their head. In a hurry burry, they didn't remove the crowns. They are prostrating at your feet with their crowns on. And those crowns come and hit against your feet. The sharp edges in the crown hit against your feet. What will happen to your feet? Namat Surashiraha Kotira Sangarshanam. Sangarshanam is friction. Kotira is the corner, the sharp edges. Karmedam mridulasya tavakapada dvandvasya kim vochitam. Idam karma, whatever you are doing, whatever I have described, tavakapada dvandvasya mridulasya. Your twin feet are so soft. Kim vochitam. Is it uchitam? Is it appropriate for your feet? Not at all. Matcheto mani paduka viharanam shambho sadangi kuru. So I have a prayer, I have a suggestion to protect your feet. You can do all this, but wear a paduka and do all this. What is the paduka? Matcheto mani paduka. I have a gem-studded beautiful paduka. That is my mind. Why he is calling the mind as so gem-studded and all that? Why he is putting all this beautiful description? Because he has purified his mind. It has no more any blemishes. So only in that condition you can offer it as a paduka. Whenever you are offering a paduka to our Periyava, how do you bring that paduka? Very clean, gem-studded, silver, gold, this type of thing. Not some unclean paduka, you don't offer it, isn't it? So he is offering a clean, gem-studded paduka, which is his mind. Paduka viharanam. Now you walk about wherever you want with this paduka on. Shambho sadangi kuru. You please accept this. Always. Don't go without this paduka anywhere. Please accept this. This is the beautiful prayer couched in such a very imaginary manner. Nobody can think of this. So, your soft feet, you are hurting yourself by hitting the hard form of Yama on his chest. You are hitting your feet, you are hurting your feet by hitting, by crushing Apasmara Asura, who is also again having a very hard form. You are moving about the hard surfaces of mountains, and your feet are constantly hurt by the sharp edges of the crowns worn by Devas when they prostrate. All this is not at all appropriate for the soft feet that you have, the twin feet that you have, which are very soft. So I have a prayer. Please wear this paduka, which is gem-studded paduka, which is my mind, and go wherever you like. Now walk wherever you like, but please accept it for constant use. Sada angi kuru. वक्षस्थाडनमन्तकस्य कठिनापस्मारसम्मर्दनम् भूभृत्पर्यटनम् नमत्सुरशिरः कोटीरसङ्घर्षणम् कर्मेदम् मृदुलस्य तावकपदद्वन्द्वस्य किं वोचितम् मच्चेतो मणिपादुका विहरणम् शम्भो सदाङ्गीकुरु. We close for the day. Time is up. Any questions?
No questions, Mama.
No questions. So we close for the day. We have had the good fortune of having some of the best shlokas. Ankolam was one of the best. Margavartita Paduka was another best. All the best shlokas of Shivananda Lahari, we have had the good fortune of enjoying them today in this session. Please join me in another session of immersing ourselves in the bliss of Shivananda tomorrow evening at 6:30 IST. Nama Parvati Pataye Hara Hara Mahadeva.